So, my dear Virgo, the sun now is in Libra, giving the light to the moon, which is in your sign. And we're going again to the right, because last time you had the sun and the new moon both in your sign. And so you're the 9th major arcana, and Libra is the 11th major arcana. And so I'm placing it here to go to the right. Understand that to the right is to the full moon again, to the left is to the new moon, and to the left is more that introverted soul energy, right? And to the right it's the extroverted human energy. And so now whatever you have learned in the last 6 months, you can express that out again into the world. And this is the time where you begin to take your first steps again to the outer world, right? We have 6 months where we go rather within, and we have 6 months where we go rather without, due to the phases of the moon. And so we have a date here, the 9/11 or the 11/9, right? You figure out what works for you and understand that this is a moment in time, right? This moment exists really once a year. And of course, if we include all the positionings of the other planets, then this moment exists only once in your life. And so just understand that. Now, Libra is, of course, through the sun, giving you now the understanding that here is an equilibrium that needs to be understood on a deeper level than just holding scales. It's like I am creating within myself an external look or radiation of justice, of being in harmony, of being good, right? Of being good from within. And that's what the sun does, right? The sun is that outer exposure, right? I radiate from within this knowledge out into the world. And so the sun in Libra is bringing the light to the moon. And of course the moon is always that moment where we understand, well, here deep down in my subconscious, in my feelings, there are things that need to come into an equilibrium, need to come into an understanding that the moon phases have control over our water in the body. And that's why we feel the moon, right? And of course today, the moon in your sign can give me this understanding so that you get the information through the moon, right? From me to you. And so it's beautiful to watch and observe all of it, right? And it's important that we understand how all of this is functioning. The yoga position for Libra is this equilibrium that we find in this position, Malasana, and it's really an elegant and beautiful position. And you find in front of your heart then that you need to find within you the equilibrium and not in the outer world and judge them. And of course, for you, you're up at the mountain again in Tadasana. And here you understand that the past and the future is looking at itself always in the present moment. It's the inhale and the exhale, right? And in this cosmic egg that you're standing up at the mountain again, you have understood something, that you are empowering yourself. Because what's important is that you have here the Roman numbers as the 5 and the 4, or the 4 and the 5, right? And as a 5 and a 4, and the 5 is the Hierophant, is Taurus, and the 4 is of course the Emperor, and that's Aries. And to understand that, you see that the Patriarch is controlling us, and you have liberated yourself. You're in the completion, and you are like, no, I do not want to be controlled by anyone, right? I am the hermit. I am the one that knows who he is, because in his lantern he has this newborn child, right, that is really ready to explore this world. So this just today to these two cards, just that you understand how it works. Then, of course, you are ruled by Mercury, and Mercury in the tarot is the Magician. And so we're going to look at the Magician, and we're going to see what Mercury is wanting to tell you. And of course, just know that I created only 3 stations, which is, of course, the Knight of Pentacles, then, of course, the Magician, right, which is Mercury, and, of course, then the soul aspect of you here, the Hermit. We're going to look at these 3 spots, and as such, you get a little shorter reading because I decided to make the readings between the full and the new moon a little smaller, and I have a little more time to paint again. Is your birthday between August 13 and September 11? Now this is interesting, right? September 11, this date came up here, 9/11, right? And so understand that you have the opportunity to see that on the 11th of September, we actually have then the end of this court card. After that, then we have Libra, the Queen of Swords. So you might be a mix, right? Because the sun still is in Virgo, but the court card is different than the zodiac signs. So observe and watch that. You as a Virgo are the alchemist, right? You can transform things, you can change things to the better, because you have this energy deep within you where you really love to be the healer. And you really understand that because the 6th zodiac sign is connected with the 6th house, and you're connected with the work and the routine, and you understand the moon phases and you work with that. And the 6th zodiac sign is connected in the body part with the digestion, and so you very quickly feel when something is off, right? And so just observe that. So back to the last reading, right, where you had Virgo Sun and New Moon both in your sign. The message was, when nothing can shake your hard-earned happiness and love for self. And so I think you really got there a very beautiful message also from the star people, that you are a star person, that you are connected with the star people as the human race, right? And so I'm just gonna have a look if there is a reoccurring card coming here that is wanting to talk to you again. And it's important because then I see that there is something that is really saying, yes, I want to be heard. I want to say something one more time, right? But it looks like that, no, there is one where it's always like I don't find it right away, right? And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, there it is. Okay, so we begin the reading with the court card, because that's your human form, right? You decided to come as a Knight of Pentacles into this world, and as such you're going to the left, you're going to the soul. But always remember, when you look at the card, you think he goes to the left, but when you become the card, you see he goes to the right with what he has understood deep within. And here comes the 4 of Swords. And the 4 of Swords is the card that came last time on the position of the Hermit, right? And the Hermit is the one that is the soul aspect of you. And the 4 of Swords, we understand that here we have Jupiter in Libra talking to you, and Libra through the sun is giving you now this feeling, the feeling of, I need to go deeper within, I need to meditate, I need to understand that I have the power within me. And so the 6th zodiac sign and the 4 of Swords creates a 10, and that 10 is a new cycle, and this new cycle is saying now you're going out to the right again. And so really feel that and understand that. Then I wanted to see what is the Mother Peace Tarot bringing. It's bringing you the Seven of Pentacles to the left. And to the left, it's saying, well, something deep within you is recognizing something, is recognizing that the 10 and the 7 is the 17, is recognizing that there is something with the star. The 17 is the star, that's Aquarius. And there is, in November, actually Pluto going into Aquarius for 20 years. And so I think then we have a new perspective on money. So you need to meditate because you are connected with the money. And here, the Seven of Pentacles, we understand in the 7, the crown chakra, the emotional intelligence, right? That you need to understand what's going on, because the 7 of Pentacles is a Saturn in Taurus. And it's literally saying that you have made this money and it's ripe, and you look at it and she's pregnant, and at the same time it's kind of like you not trusting it, right? And so the 17 then turns into an 8, and the 8 is that infinite understanding that you need to continue in life, right? That whatever stops you, whatever brings you negativity, you need to get stronger through it. And so here with the finances, right, you need to look deeper at it and be like ready for it. That actually here the 17 is talking through the star, right, up in the sky, up where the stars are. The money will now rule us, right, on a new level. It's not anymore the banks, it's not anymore this heaviness of the banks. Saturn is the world and Taurus are the banks, and it's like you need to really meditate and see that then here the 17 is talking to you. Then we look at the Magician, and the Magician here is Salvador Dali himself, and you get the Moon. And the Moon phases is exactly what I said, right? You like the routine. You have here the Moon phases in the 6th house. And so this kind of routine is also connected with the Moon. And when there is a new moon, right, we are feeling different than when there is a full moon. And so observe that the 37 is talking, and the 37, we have the 3, the Empress, and the 7, the emotional intelligence, or the Chariot, right? That success that wants to be lived, right, through the 3, through the Empress. And so it's a very feminine energy here, and the Moon is feminine, right? And so the 10 is coming here, plus the 1, and that's an 11. And the 11 is the inner teacher, is the inner knowing. And so the message is very strong with the 11, because the 11 comes also here from Libra, and the 11 was also the date 9/11, right, or 11/9. We can also turn it around. Then what is bringing your deck to this equation? It's the Queen of Wands, and that's Aries. And Aries is here in the 4 of your card, right? And that's the Emperor. And she is really strong in the way she acts, in the way she makes things happen. And again, you have the 10 and the 1, which is an 11 here. But now with this one, I could create here a 1/1 and the 10. So you have 3 times the 1. But I also can calculate here the 10 and the 2 together. It's a 12, and that's the Hangman. Letting go, right? And seeing that something more powerful is wanting to come through you. And that's what Mercury is wanting to tell you. Mercury is your mind. Mercury is the language. Mercury is actually the God that is coming down and letting us know what is happening. And so act upon the phases of the moon, right? Become intuitive, become the magician, become the one that knows how to act. He acts as well, right? The way the Queen of Wands acts. And so you see here very clearly, act upon the moon phases, right? And see how you can live with that. So of course I want to see what is the Queen of Wands saying, and I have the deck of Aries here, and you get the last judgment, and that's Pluto. And I did say, right, Pluto goes into Aquarius, and we had the 17 here with the Knight of Pentacles, right, and the Four of Swords, plus, of course, the Seven of Pentacles. That was the 17. And the 17 is the star. That's Aquarius. And now she is saying, yeah, watch how actually Pluto, the last judgment, is going in November, the 19th of November, into Aquarius. And then things are going to be different, really different. And you're going to feel it, right? And in the underworld, things are going to be more lighter, more up in the air. And you're going to see that people are also doing negative things up in the air, up with Bitcoin, etc. And you're going to feel things, right? But also a lot of light is going to come, of course, into that. What your mind does, because it's all mind, right? The air, Aquarius, it's an air sign. It's all the swords that are gonna come up there. And so, of course, she's saying, watch the 20, right? And so we have the 20 plus the 1, it's the 21. The world is gonna be different, and you're gonna really need to look at that. And so here we making an 11, right? And then here the 21. And so understand that the world is letting you know something is shifting, right? Big time. But I also wanted to see what the Mother Peace Tarot is bringing, because these cards are round and I cannot control them. And so they come sometimes in very different directions up, and you get the Four of Cups, which is the Moon in Cancer reverse. The Moon in Cancer is saying, well, you're a little bored, right? You're almost a little bit like, okay, what am I going to do with my life? And just that you see the card, she's standing here where the river meets the ocean, and she holds 2 cups, but there are 2 more cups standing here. And there is something that is letting her know you have to see that maybe this boring time is over, right? Because it's reversed, then sometimes the negative aspect of the card is done, is finished, right? And so I'm just going to quickly look what it's saying when it's reversed. She's ready to move on. Yeah. Right? She's ready to move on, and she's open to new possibilities. She has renewed her sense of hope in life and feels that opportunities await her. And so it's actually a blessing that this card came in reverse up, right? If it would have been upright, then it would have been like, okay, something is still not really making you happy. And so the Moon in Cancer is maybe letting you know something has now really ended, and you're beginning a whole new path, which is, you had the new moon last time, and now this is your first reading out to the right, out again to express yourself. And so we have here the 11, and I usually leave the 11, right? The 11, it's kind of saying, okay, this is your inner teacher. And so the 1-1 I also like to leave, right? And so it's also an 11. And so I don't like to calculate the 4 into it, but I could create a 5 here, which is then the Hierophant, which is the 5 senses. Use the 5 senses to go out there into the world and see how Pluto is affecting then from the November on the world, the financial world, and also the emotional world, right? And so the 21 plus the 4 is the 25, and the 25, then when we calculate it together, we get the 7, the emotional intelligence. So have the emotional intelligence to understand how all of this is talking to you, right? And see the opportunity in all of this. And now we look into the Hermit, and the Hermit is bringing you the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles is actually a Capricorn, and a Capricorn always is connected with money as well. She's the Queen, you are the Knight, you have the ideas and you want to make money, and you are making money, but she's the one that's actually really has all the money. She's the 10th zodiac sign, and she is career, and she is letting you know, don't be attached to the career. Like here, this little devilish face is bringing into your attention that the 9 and the 10 is the 19. The sun is saying, come into your equilibrium, come into an understanding that everything needs an up and a down. You need to rest, you need to heal yourself, and understand then the 10 is left here, right? And so I want to see what she is saying to you. And the 8 of Swords is coming up, and the 8 of Swords is like you trapped sometimes mind, right? The swords, you had 4 swords, remember, that's the meditation, and 8 swords, that's 12 swords, that's the Hanged Man. You need to let go of too much thinking. You need to go intuitive. You need to see that everything is talking, and that you can have a moment of deeper understanding of how you come out of frustrations with money. So maybe this is this here, right? This little face here is this attachment, is this you are trapping yourself in your own infinite loop of thinking about things, overthinking things. So you had the 9 and the 10, that's the 19, the 10 is left. The 10 and the 8 is the 18. In your subconscious, you have still few demons that are coming up, and you need to look at them and really heal that. And then out of the 18, the 9 is left. You coming out like a newborn person. Then, of course, I want to see what is Libra saying, and the Libra is bringing you the 2 of Pentacles, and that's Jupiter in Capricorn. And here we have the Queen of Pentacles, which is Capricorn. And so here, this hand is holding the snake, is saying you need to understand how money functions, because here we had 7 Pentacles, now you have 2, you have 9 Pentacles, and 9 Pentacles is Venus in Virgo. But the 2 of Pentacles, Jupiter in Capricorn, is saying play with the money, right? Don't think that money can always just be there and multiply, just pop up. And it's kind of like money is an exchange. Money is something that we really need to understand, because if we don't understand it, money does whatever with us. And it's like a snake, and that's why the snake is being gripped, is being held, and you playing with Jupiter. Jupiter is actually the wheel of fortune. So the 10 and the 2 is the 12, and that's again the Hanged Man. You let go of how you want to control money, right? And so then the 3 is left. The 3 and the 9 is again the 12, and then the 3 is left. The Empress, that's Venus, that's beauty, that's love, but that's also money. And so how do you handle money? From a beauty way, from a attached way, from I want to play with it way, or I am the one that actually plays with it, are not controlled of it. And so the 3 is speaking here very clearly. But always remember, right, you had the 8 of Swords here, so just watch that. Then I wanted to see what is coming from the Mother piece, and the Lovers to the right is coming. And the Lovers to the right are pointing at the 2 of Pentacles. And the Lovers is Gemini, right? And here we have Jupiter in Gemini through the 8 of Swords. So it's communication, and Gemini is connected with Mercury. And Mercury, remember, is also controlling you or leading you, and so that's the Magician. So there's magic in love, there's magic in understanding how love opens us up. The 6 and the 2 is the 8, that infinite spiral that we need to understand. And so there's an 8-8 framing the 10, right? And the 8 can be helped by taking actions on the money with love, with a higher understanding how all of this is functioning, right? And so the 10 and the 8 is the 18. The 18 is the moon, is the subconscious. The 9, and then the 9 and the 9 is a 9-9 portal. And you understand all of a sudden, yeah, I get it. I am the master. I am the 9. I am, as a soul, a hermit. And so you getting the information. But I want to see what is Gemini saying, what are the Lovers saying, and you get the 7 of Swords. Now, you had 8 swords and 7 swords. That's 15 swords. 15 is the devil. And that's this, right? Observe that you cannot sneak just yourself away, and you see that you are holding yourself prisoner. But also remember, you have another 4, so the 15 swords plus 4 is 19, and that's here justice. That's a Libra. And so maybe there's a Libra in your life, right, that you need to reconnect with, or there is something in the justice that's saying find your equilibrium, find the deeper levels of the mind, understand how the mind is functioning, right? Because here you kind of sneaking yourself away. And the 7 of Swords is actually also that you feel that you are the victim in a situation, and that's why you are trapped here, right? And to be a victim is not really something nice, and so that's why you have the meditation, right? That's why you have Jupiter in Libra. Remember, Jupiter is saying, hey, you can do it. It's the 10, and Jupiter is always the Jupiter in Capricorn, right? Here, the Wheel of Fortune, right? You gotta play, but you gotta not play the victim. It's finished to play the victim, right? And so the 19 swords is bringing you back to Libra, Sun in Libra. Shine this energy out into the world and see that you can handle it, because it's just a matter of how you understand how these planets are affecting us, because this is connected with the constellation Moon in Aquarius, right? And we had the 17 coming up here with you as the Knight of Pentacles and the 4 of Swords and the 7 of Pentacles, right? That was the 17, and that's Aquarius, and we have the Judgment. We have Pluto going into Aquarius, and now Moon in Aquarius is letting you know you're not a victim if you take care of it. If you understand that she is letting you know, don't be attached to nothing. Be free and play with it and see then what comes up, because life plays with us, right? And there are always energies that are more intense and energies that are a little less intense, and this is not so nice, right? And this is not so nice. So understand that here you have 19 swords. Meditate and you will understand what's going on here with these 15 swords, with this attachment or being cut off in your mind of source. And that's what the Hermit is wanting to tell you. Find your inner peace, find the understanding, find the moon phases, and you will understand more and more how to act, how to be, and how to actually move on and liberate yourself, because that's what it's all about. So I hope I see you in the next reading. That's when we get the Sun in Scorpio. The 13 didn't come up, right? But we see that the 13 is the transformation. The 13 is letting really go. And this is what you had here with the 4 of Cups, right? You're really letting go. Moon in Cancer there. The understanding that something is finished and now you can move on. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.